Good evening, and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the thing show that gets you thinking about things you have been told, things that you believe that simply aren't true. And all you have to do is ask yourself the question or just do a little bit of digging up, do a little bit of research, and you'll find artifacts with your face on it. Well, not your face, but somebody who looks like you. Be your grandmother, great grandmother, great grandfather, etc. Tonight, we're going to delve into the currency, something that African Americans and Blacks are always saying they got to get the bag. They chasing the bag. The problem is the bag they chasing isn't theirs, it's somebody else's. And they keep stringing you along. And they've been doing this for years. Joining me tonight, as always, the Accomack chiefess, Miss Lisa Cypress. How you doing, Lisa?
Caillou, Calito, how you doing? How you doing? Long time. Good to talk to you.
Very long time. So, how did you come across this Virginia piece?
Now, we can say that it's right there for us to every day just deleting a lot of information, a lot of images off the internet. Like people need to be aware of that. Like 5 years ago, you could find a ton of stuff. Today, every day you look is less and less. So as we're speaking right now, I'm buying some of these things. Right, I brought one that I had emailed to you, and I'm buying this other one that I also had. I think I may have sent you this image as well, because I'm just like they're these things are disappearing. They're just disappearing. The images alone are disappearing, let alone the artifacts. So yeah, it's really important that we capture these things, not just the images but the artifacts, because they could say anything about our images that we have on our computer, but if we can get the artifact, even more important, rather than
Right,
buying that new pair of Nikes, get you some
right,
get you a Confederate dollar that has our image on it. How about that? You know what I mean?
right. But they'll say anything, but kind of pull up the numbers. You can just pull it up. That they can't erase that. That's the cold thing about the truth. It can't be erased. What do you
Yeah, I mean,
say?
it's very hard. Yeah, it's very hard. I mean, they do their best. They do their darndest to erase it. Yeah. But the reality is the truth really can't be, because it's just so many things you would have to cover to make a lie true. Like you can never make a lie true. Not really. You can make
Right,
you can make the Negro believe that it's true, but you can't literally make that lie true. It's not going to be true. So if the Negro wakes up and says, "Wait a minute, let me investigate," let me examine, let me critically look at this thing, and then it's over. Because once somebody actually takes a critical look at some of the things that they've been teaching us, it all falls through the cracks because it doesn't hold up to the truth test. It doesn't. There's no corroborating evidence, to support whatever they're making up. It doesn't make any sense.
now, I did what you did. I did a deep dive into the Confederate currencies in the, pre-Civil War. Like programs we have done before, like the universities that were built 50 years before the Civil War. A whole, but I found a job application from my great great grandmother, because people always like to throw that slave narrative in there.
Right,
I have a job application from 1860. No, I'm sorry, 1840
right,
from my great great grandmother.
right.
These type of artifacts give you proof or let you know what they told you was going on really wasn't going on. So I did a deep dive like you did into these currencies. And in damn near every state, the money is the same.
Right. Now, when you think about
Arkansas,
it, yeah,
Tennessee,
yeah,
Mississippi.
yeah.
What? And
Oh,
so,
yeah.
what do you say to those people who always got to throw up? And it's normally the Negro. Oh, you just being a pretendian. What do you say to people like that?
Well, I don't understand what that. I don't even understand what that means. Nor do I understand like the fact that you are steadfast and dedicated to believing in something that you don't have any evidence to support that is true. Like, why do you believe something without any substantial evidence at all? That's
None.
that's the thing I don't understand. Why don't you question anything? Why don't they have to give you any evidence that you come from Africa? Why do you believe that the DNA makes sense when it doesn't match you to cousins that are African? That 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 can't be, because
Right.
DNA matches you to actual people, not to geography. So if you are really have DNA that's from Nigeria, then all these all these Nigerian people, these dark Nigerian people that's coming over here are gotta be, some of them gotta be your kinfolk.
Some of them got to be.
Some of them gotta be your kinfolk. So
And
why
so,
are you not matched up with them? And they need to have them in the database, because if not, how on else are they make a believe that you are Nigerian? That means a whole lot of Nigerians were tested, right? That's what that really. I mean, see, people don't want to think about nothing.
right.
Hello.
Oh no, I'm with you. I'm with you
If they are
100%.
saying that they have this DNA that prove that you're from West Africa, where are all these West African testees? These people that submitted their daggone saliva for a test for their DNA. And if they have submitted a test, then they got a connection to you, because that's the only way they could tell you that you're West African.
And that just flies over the average African American's head.
Well, I don't understand, because they watch Maury religiously. They watched Maury when he was out religiously. And all the time they didn't say, Maury didn't tell people that their daddy was from New Hampshire, or their daddy's from Connecticut, or their daddy's from daggone Georgia. They said their daddy is so and so, or he's not the dad. They had to have the daddy to match them the baby up to the daddy. There wasn't some area of the country that they were matching the baby to. Yet people will sit up there and say, I'm West African, based upon somebody giving you a map and saying that's where your DNA is from. What in the world is wrong with you?
And we just swallow it. Anything they shoot.
Intelligent people believe that, so called.
So, you know what I find interesting on this currency is what's
Uh-huh.
written on it. So, I know a lot of times we look at the picture and that's it. We don't try to figure out the words, or what is being said on that. Can we get into that
Yeah,
on this one?
let's do that.
And also we have another one. This is from Virginia. We have another one from Alabama. And like I say, if you do a little simple deep dive, you'll see they're from damn near every state in the Southeast.
Wow.
You're on the currency. I mean, what else? What else? And it's not, when I say you're on the currency, I'm not saying you yourself, but somebody who you're connected to.
Right.
You're on the currency. How would slaves get here, not be slaves no more, and then appear on the currency? I mean, that's a simple question.
Why
When
would
you ask,
people why would people that came from another country, right, print money with pictures, lovely pictures of you as a family on it? You know, why would this be the image of the Confederate States? I don't
So
I
the
don't I don't understand it. If you were died of diseases, if you was from Africa, if you I mean this doesn't look like I mean I don't understand the motivation for using this image on the money other than the fact that
that
um
that, that
it's you. You did it.
right. Because when you ask all these deniers and naysaying, what is the currency that the other countries who came to America, what is the currency that they bought? Or were they using the currency that was already here? The African American will figure out some way to dispute that fact. What currency were they using? If you go to another country now, you have to use their currency. You have to exchange for their currency to use it throughout where they live. Where is that? How come you don't see currency with King George or whoever was the king back there over here? Where's that? Where's that currency?
And what is the Confederate? What is the Confederacy really? You know what I mean? That's
Right.
the other thing. We are all under this belief that this is a whole Jethro redneck run. There's been a lot of misinformation about the whole Civil War and what the Confederacy really is. Because if we see all these melanated, Negroid people, Indian people on all the money, and then, yeah, now they're trying to like insert a lot of redneck looking stuff, but nah, this is the what we're not seeing. This is what they're not teaching us. The Indian images, the Negro images on the money. So if that existed, why did it exist? And then when you see images of people in government and you see Negroes in government during the Confederate times, during the pre Civil War times, why were we in government?
And you just got off of a ship.
Oh yeah, that's right. We couldn't read, write, or really even understand anything, too. Yeah, that's right. But we had all those universities, though.
I mean, and
Yeah,
so, and like you were saying earlier, this information isn't hidden. It's
right.
just that many of us, particularly, don't want to find it.
Yeah, we don't. We just want to believe whatever we're told, and then we'll do everything we can do to tap dance around what they tell us we should be knowing.
And
We're very
then
like
pass
robots.
and then pass that off to your kids.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we started by teaching our grandparents and our parents, like you like to talk about raising in the sun.
Right.
And also that scene that they have from Brewster's Place where, what's her name tells what's gosh, what's her freaking name? Anyway, well, what's the one who married the boxer?
Robin Givens.
Robin Gibbon tells what's her name? What's
No,
the other actor?
Cicely Tyson tells Robin Givens.
Yeah, well, no, Robin was trying to tell her she's African and she's
Right.
not. You're ashamed of your African. And she was like, I come from a long line. My grandmother was a proud Sioux or whatever. And I'm like, okay, see, that's the thing. We try to tell our parents, we try to teach the whole world what
Right.
they taught us in school. That's how dedicated we were to the things we were taught in these integrated schools, right?
Right.
That's the problem. We not only do we know more than everything for ourselves, we know everything that everybody needs to know. We teach it all up and down the family tree.
Right.
We single handedly destroyed our whole heritage, and severed ourselves from our history.
We did that.
We did that,
It still do it.
and we still do it. We still do. We rather be some slaves, and we rather think that some we're so downtrodden. And it's like, and we enjoy it, we embrace it. Never mind, you got a whole family farm of many acres in Alabama, and your people
Right.
live well into the hundreds. Never mind that. You still
Right.
feel like these white boys got something over on you and they're oppressing you. How are they oppressing you, sir? You got more than what them white boys got. That's why they hate you. Y'all got it going on more than them, and that's why they've always hated you. Because they had to work for you. Hell, they still working for you in some places. But yet you still want to be that, oh, I'm a descendant of, because that's what they told you. That's why you want to say you're a slave. But your grandma didn't say that. Your big mama didn't say that. Your granddaddy didn't tell you was a slave. You didn't learn that till you went to school. I didn't know what that was. Did you know what a slave was before you went to school?
No.
I sure didn't. It was news to me.
Mhm. I wasn't introduced to that slave stuff till Roots, and it was a boring show. I didn't really get into it. It was, I mean, if you look at it now, that's how it looked back in the 70s. Dumb. And everybody jumped on that.
They stopped televisions for a damn week to
Right.
make everybody watch. And you know what? And that alone should have been suspicious to the color folk. That alone. How are you gonna just why? Why would the networks just go to a standstill and focus on slavery? Why? Do they? It's because they want us to know our history? Because they
Right.
love us? Is it? And if they want us to know our history, why? Do you got to ask yourself why again? Is it because they love us and they care about us so much? Well, they don't show that they love and care about us. So if it's not because they love and care about us, what else could be the motivation? Oh, let's think about that. What would you
And,
think that would be?
and this is for all the people who always, well, we all should get along. We should love each other. Not only did they do this to your grandmother, grandfather, they did it to your mom and daddy, you, your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids, doing the same stuff. And you know what allows them to keep going on? The Negro. Always going with what they say.
Yeah,
Here you are on the currency.
happily.
Why did it change? When did it change? This on this currency it says 1861. What were you doing in 1861? I don't know. This is you. And we don't get it. Or I think that sometimes we do get it, but I think a lot of us like being in the positions that we're in. What do you think about that, Lise?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people get off on being victims. You know what I mean? I think that's one thing. Some of them like people like being like, well, because these people do this stuff to me, and that's why my life is like this, and that's why I got this stress on me, or whatever. And then some people are getting paid literally. They're literally getting paid to to be African. You know what I mean? They're literally getting grant money to be African American, to talk about African American fake history. And they don't realize that if they changed it up and said, no, I ain't no African American, there would be no money for you.
Right.
Because they're paying you to miseducate your own people. And they conspire to do that willingly. Your own family conspires to miseducate the future. Why would you do that? Because not only are you miseducating, but you are putting a wall between them and their inheritance. That's what's really foul about it. You're putting a wall between your family and your family's inheritance by miseducating them into thinking they're African. You can't get an inheritance as an Indian if you don't know that you are the Indian. If you're still calling yourself African American, you I sent you another thing, I think, for South Carolina, North Carolina, and I just brought it. I just brought a copy of that. I brought a one of those they have on auction, and they have one for South Carolina too. And there's a Negro in that hanging with white folks, not looking like a slave, looking like she's just socializing and shit. You know,
Right.
like everybody's on the same level and stuff. That's what it looks like. She ain't serving them, or she's in the middle of two white people, and it just looks like a little party of ladies of different origin. But
Well,
that's
I
a
like
South
this.
Carolina $5 bill, huh?
I like this one right here. This
Let me
one is
see.
cold, and you know which one I like. Check this out.
Oh yeah,
All
yeah.
almost the same image. And like I say, Arkansas, Mississippi, it's in all of these places.
And yet you got the brother sitting up there with the dreads and the feathers and the woman, and he's dead center, right?
Dead center.
And he in no way looks like a Native American, as we would call a Native
Right.
American today. None of that red, painted, fake looking shit. Just look like a brother for that, like any other brother that you might see today. Okay. And this is the one I purchased. I purchased this. That's why I was late getting onto the live. Because when I saw it on eBay, I was like, I'm gonna get that, because they're going for upward of like $200, $300. But there was one left on there that was 117, so I got that before I came on the live. And then I bought the other one from North Carolina. I bought that one because it's like,
Well, if you can send to North Carolina, send that one. I can share that one too.
okay, yeah. I just found a South Carolina one. Let me kind of let me fix it. Let me fix it, and I'll trim
And
it
so,
out.
to the listeners, well, we know a lot of people get pissed off because of information like this. So when we tell you African Americans ain't Africans, we're not playing. We're not just coming up with something. This is right in your face.
Right.
What if everybody knew that you used to be on the money? Would that changes everybody, perception on how things should be? And it's like that piece you sent me today about that guy talking about Oklahoma. That was
Mhm.
off the hook,
Right.
saying all the minerals and stuff that were found in Oklahoma.
Right. But they do that they did that everywhere.
Right,
They came here just to take our resources. You know what I mean? So
right,
everywhere they declared and they hunted down, and they sent people that were expert jewelers and expert, you know, expert. But this is the thing, like when I read from the book on Facebook from Virginia, they said that they went to our mines. We already had the mines. You know what I
right,
mean? We weren't sitting up here, although they're showing a picture of us sitting up there in these, wrapped in garbs or whatever. Honey, we had whole civilizations. We weren't just sitting up here in loincloths and walking around. We was mining and inventing, and we had roads and navigation, and we had all that stuff. We had civilized society. They were sitting up there getting the plague. We didn't have no plague in America. Understand
right,
that? Because we knew about germ theory. We knew about washing, right? We didn't have deformities because we knew about genealogy and genetics. We did not marry our first cousins that way. We had clans and bands. Why exactly, Nona? Why, Nonya? Why would we put Why would they put slaves on the money? These people don't even stand. They're not posturing. They're not posing like slaves. They're not slaves. They are regal.
And you see it, and you see them with the whole family together. That's a kick-ass statement right there.
Right. Say that again. Say that again.
That's a kick-ass statement right there. You have the family on the money.
Mm-hmm. The
Mama, daddy, brother, sister.
Right.
You know, it kind of reminds me, you know, in Philadelphia Records, they had that group Mother, Father, Sister, Brother. That just came to mind because it's a unit, it's a group.
Right.
And so when you're taught what the conquerors teach you, you gonna be what they want you to be. It's that simple.
Right. And you keep thinking of yourself as a slave. That's all you're gonna think you are. And it's gonna put you in a slave state of mind. You know, it puts you in a slave state of mind. That's why they don't want you to know that they're slaves. That's why they refuse to teach that they came here as slaves. They refuse to. And it's the truth. It's the God honest truth. They came here as slaves and they don't want anybody teaching about it. And that's really what the critical race theory is really afraid of. They don't want anybody teaching about the truth about their past. I don't think they're really that concerned that we find out how great we are, but they are very concerned with finding anybody talking and teaching the children about how they came here as orphans and prisoners and slaves. They don't want that taught at all. Ever. Because they have their egos are fragile. See, we're able to take that licking and keep on ticking. We take the slave moniker. We get kicked in the teeth because they don't want it. They refuse to give us reparations. Why? Because we're not the slaves. Yeah. You can't claim something that ain't real. They teach us that it's real, but it really ain't real. The reality is they were the numerous slaves that were actually carried to America. We weren't transported here, and nor were we the numerous slaves. They were. We got caught in slavery as we are today, caught up in the system. We are caught up in slavery because we are in debt in the system. We are caught up because we lost our identity in the system. We are caught up as slaves because we don't have our freedom, because we lost our land, because we didn't understand it. It's always forever ours, because we lost who we were. That's how we became slaves. But the actual people that came here as chattel slaves are the white folks.
So you think these people came over here? They had it going on. Because if you look how Britain was damn near in ruins.
The entire Europe was just about friggin' in ruins. They were broke. They had been warring each other and tearing up each other's daggone resources for daggone hundreds of years. They had nothing. And then they saw that daggone France was getting up. They getting their coins up in America. Spain was getting their coins up. And they had to lower themselves, so they think, and marry these dark black Spaniards and French people. Right? They married everybody. They married us. Our people are royalty. I was watching something the other day and they were talking about Prince Edward of Wales. Prince Edward of Wales was called the Black Prince. Where do you think they got that Black Prince that had money? He wasn't. When Europe was broke, who had money? America. These black Europeans that had money came from where? Where'd they get them from?
And just remember, whatever they tell you, you believe it. They tell you a They tell you it's the new year starts in the dead of winter. The Negro go gets brand new clothes.
Right.
Whatever they tell you, you don't think about it. You don't question it. You don't go, that doesn't make any sense. Not you, the listeners on the program. I'm talking about your average person. Just ask them a question about the stories, the narratives they be given. I'm watching people literally die going to their graves because they don't know anything. Nothing. They can't even tell their children nothing. And when you tell them stuff like this, they get pissed off at you. Huh?
They do.
One of the things I ask around here, I'm like, well, who are these people here? Because you know how they have little towns and little streets named after the indigenous people here. And I'm always asking the so-called African American or black people, who are these people? Who? And no, I don't know. You never took the time out to find out who these people. They probably all they know is the city they're living in. And these are older people. These are 70, 80-year-old people.
Mm-hmm.
Never took the time to find out nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so then well, shit. Then we get somehow we feel sad and all this stuff for them when they say a elder person dies, a library goes with them.
Mm.
These
Yeah.
people are getting out of here and not leaving none. But the people who are given the information get cussed out and get their eyeballs scratched out.
Mm. Why is
All
that?
so this Alabama. And so you got to remember, and the brother was teaching me this. Remember the 13 colonies. Everything else behind the 13 colonies, Tennessee, Alabama, Ohio, everything east of the 13 colonies, need to study the history of those places. It'll blow you away. They didn't bring nobody over here. Because you hear some people saying, so what you saying? They didn't bring no Africans over here? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Don't try to make, because a lot of people try to make it seem like it wasn't that bad and it didn't happen. They got a group of people down by Mobile, Alabama, that said a slave ship came up through Florida, got in some kind of lake in Alabama, and the ship sank in the lake. For real, cuz you believe that?
Wow.
And they have Negroes saying, yeah, my granddaddy was on that ship. No ship nowhere. They can't take, it's in the lake, so how far can you really dive? Nobody's found anything.
Yep.
And this is what I'm saying. They can tell us anything. And we go for it.
Why do you think that is?
Fear. Because you have to, you done told everybody you this. You believe you done bought clothes, you done bought books, you done taught your kids this. You believe everything they say. You're scared to change. You're scared to be yourself. What else could it be? If somebody told you you had $100 million back in the bush somewhere, the average Negro wouldn't care. They wouldn't look it up. They don't. They trying to chase that bag. That's it. That's all we know. Honestly. And see, we never talked about nothing serious. Because if you're in a conversation with somebody, and you'll find that this particularly with Christians, they get mad, they'll leave. They can't talk no more because they know they're lying. But then there'll always be somebody to come in and be like, well, they don't want to talk about it. No, because they lying. See, that's the whole thing. We lie all the time.
Why are we lying? Why
Fear,
are we lying? Fear?
fear. So
Mm,
if you ever you know the story. What's the cat name who did the Brown versus the Board of Education?
right.
People all the first thing they say, you lying. You know what his now check this out. And then check out this statement. Thurgood Marshall. You know what Thurgood Marshall grandson does today?
What's he do?
People don't
Oh,
even believe people don't even believe that. But all they have to do is just pull it up. You know what Thurgood Marshall's grandson does today? He's the
what?
CEO of the prisons.
Oh, I think you told me that. Yeah.
That brings a whole new meaning to the school to prison pipeline, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
That's the kind of stuff that we make happen for ourselves.
We do it to ourselves.
This is why immigrants come over and pimp you like a dirty foot hoe.
Yeah, man.
That's why. Because we with it. Nobody says nothing. Your politicians, for real, cuz,
No respect.
real, for real, we cool with it. I can do whatever I want to do. You don't tell me what to do. You ain't my daddy.
Mm.
That's the kind of stuff I get. Hey man, did you know where'd your grandparents live? Where'd they grow up? Before it became a county, before this became Jefferson County, because remember, Jefferson is an indigenous. They came and took the land. They came and blew up those mounds up there in North Dakota to put their faces on there.
Sure did.
You say, "What's your stuff?" We ain't got no stuff. We was on a ship on the way over here. That's what we believe. This is what we teach our children.
That's right.
So why we do that, in my view, scared,
Uh huh.
because because honestly, and it goes from the universities to the churches, all these institutions don't know nothing.
I sent you some more money images.
Okay, don't know nothing.
Right.
And then embarrassed to talk about it because they don't know nothing. So when you ask these cats who are talking, like I asked this one brother, he was talking about some school, the
Right.
Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey School. I'm like, why would you make up a school with two different ideologies?
Right.
They don't even mix.
Right. They didn't even like each other. They didn't
They didn't,
agree.
they didn't even agree. That that's how you know that somebody's pulling your leg. The
Yeah.
Negro never gets it.
They never get it. They
Never get
never
it.
get it. It's like Marcus Garvey used Frederick Douglass as one of his ship names or something real stupid, and
Right.
like Frederick Douglass was adamantly against any shipment of our people to Africa because it wasn't even back to Africa. And really, if we really came from West Africa, why they send people to Senegal? Why they sending people to places they ain't even come from, so called anyway? So it's
Right.
like that whole thing. And then the people act like this is something they've been trying they so called were trying to do as early as the 1800s, and then they claim in the Eastern Shore that they wanted to do it in the 1700s. But I promise you, I don't think them white people were even there in the 1700s. The more I'm looking at things, these white folks just got here. They ain't been here. They
Right.
came here after the Civil War. They came here after the Civil War, and that's when they started to do the mass takeover because they all came here in mass. They came in for a mass takeover, and we were warring hard ever since the Civil War, and all the way through and to no, ever since the since the Revolutionary War, all the way through the Civil War, because like it never made sense to me that white folks that you would take my land, take my slaves, take everything, my whole lifestyle, turn it upside down, and that would be it. Oh, now we a union. Nah, you take all my stuff, we still at war.
Right.
I mean, as angry as these daggone rednecks seem to be, how in the world did they just sit aside and say, okay, you gave me a check, I'm just going to sit here and be quiet? No. You take all my money, destroy my whole daggone currency. Everything I got has no value anymore. Even if you cut me a check for the slaves that you took or I lost, I am going to be warring with you forever.
Right.
This is not real. It can't be real. So who is it that they actually took stuff from? Who is it? Now, we have so much going on at the time of the Civil War. There is no way you can sit up there and look at me in the face and tell me we're chattel slaves and that freed us. You can't make me believe that. Not ever. Not with all these universities. By 1667, there were 16 HBCUs. Now, I can't believe that chattel slaves had 16 HBCUs and they was fighting for us to be freed. No. They were building these, many of them were built during 1665 and 1666. A good bulk of them. So how are you freeing us, our ignorant chattel selves, and building universities that we could teach and be in charge of and be all this and be enrolled? Huh? That doesn't even make any sense. How does everything get to that level? It doesn't.
And you know what else? So all the people who got the education and got the knowledge, I have one simple question that brings all that crashing down. And they look like, I never thought of that. Because you don't think, you just do what you're told. So all these wars we talk about, your people are in the throes of slavery, yet you go off to all these foreign countries to fight in wars. Make that make sense. Your mama, daddy, brothers and sisters back at home being slaves, and you going off to fight in a war. Make that make sense.
Well, see, this is the thing. We have a love of this country that we don't even understand. Because if we was really from Africa, why would we fight all these wars? It ain't even our country. But that is probably our whole warrior connection to our homeland. Our love of it that it doesn't jive with the story go back to that plow one, because I didn't get to talk about it, because this is the thing that we need to really look at. When we look at things, we need to really look at them. This is interesting too. But the other one, that brother, okay, this is the thing. If you don't know anything about farming, you need to know this. First of all, if you got a slave, then the slave is the mule, okay? Now, if you're going to have a slave, you're not going to have two strong, healthy, beautiful horses pulling a nice plow, okay? You're not going to invest in him having an easy job, because, when you got two strong horses, that's easy work. Them damn horses pulling that shit. You're just basically guiding it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I need people to understand that may not actually, use a hoe or, physically get into anything. But yeah, them two horses, as fancy and as muscular and big as they are, oh yeah, he just guiding that thing. He got one hand on the thing. He ain't pushing it. He just guiding it along. So you gonna tell me that that's a slave in that picture? No, sir. That's what I want people to start looking at things critically. No, if it was a slave, honey, he would be pulling that. He would be pulling that plow, not the horse. And if he did have something, it'd be some broke down thing that can't do shit, not be worth a dime of work. But really, the reality is, yeah, no, that kind of yeah, they pay expensive money, much money as you would say, so called for a slave. They pay for them damn horses. So if you gonna, so baby, this man had money. This man had two expensive horses. It's like having the latest jet, what is it called when they have a self-propelled lawnmower. He's riding on that thing basically. That thing is, that's state of the art farming, right?
And another thing,
You got two fancy horses pulling a very fine plow. He's wearing a nice white shirt and a lovely hat to cover his head.
sharp, sharp. He
He's
didn't.
chill. Okay?
His clothes aren't tattered.
No.
Right.
He's a money maker. He's a land owner. And this is in North Carolina. And y'all want to be your Gullah Geechee from Africa. Y'all is dumb as hell.
Yeah,
Come
man.
on. Look at this with discernment. If your years don't give it to you, then pray for it. I don't know what you're gonna do, but you need to have some discernment. You need to look at things with the eye that is more in depth than just the surface. Look and think about what you're looking at. This is showing a man of prominence. He's standing upright. He's proud. He's not working hard. He's barely touching things. He got two strong horsepower. You know how to say horsepower? He got double. Okay. He got double horsepower.
200 years ago.
He is balling out. This is what you call balling out on the 1866 10-cent money piece. He's baller. He's a baller. Okay? That's balling out. Just know what you're looking at. Because, see, this is why I need to say it. Because folks be looking at this and thinking, well, yeah, that's a slave picture. No. Think about it. Look at it carefully. Understand how much those horses cost. And understand, if you are a slave owner, you ain't going to make it easy on a Negro that's doing work, if that's really how things were.
They weren't.
This man owns his land. This man has two very expensive horses and a lovely state-of-the-art plow. He has a lovely white shirt, crispy white. He probably got white folks working for him, washing his clothes.
Stevie Wonder said, when you believe in things you don't understand, you suffer.
Yes, indeed.
So like she said, look at it. Just don't, oh yeah, that's a slave. Look at it. I mean, his clothes look ironed. He don't look like you know how they show the slaves looking. Remember that image you showed me of the cotton field, the people in the cotton field playing and flipping around and stuff.
Right.
Kind of reminds me of that. It wasn't. This was their industry. This is what these people did all the time.
It's a family business, baby.
It's a family business. You wanted to integrate into their stuff. How's it going? How's it going?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to move to the next one?
Yeah, we can go on now.
Yeah, man. These people tell you stuff and you can see. And I had a brother tell me this. I was like, damn, dude, you're absolutely right. He said, man, have you noticed since integration that we've become more like them and less of ourselves?
Oh, yeah. I'm
like, damn. See, we don't want to talk about that, though. We want to keep that hidden.
Oh, we don't want to talk about that.
Okay, so this one, I like this one because the sister sitting down, she a cutie pie. And like I say, the clothes is you know how that those clothes on Roots is just two burlap bags sewn together. Check this out. Check
Bruh,
out how the sister's dressed.
that's what I'm saying.
And how come we and like so who would look at this and go, oh, that's a slave?
Right. Now I'm gonna send you the picture of the one I just brought because I just brought one too from North Carolina. It's not this one though. I brought this one.
You know, one of the
But
best things you can do is ask yourself question. Talking to yourself is fine. You know stuff. You subconsciously know stuff. You know when something's wrong. You know when something's not right.
yep.
You can smell. You can hear.
Right.
You can taste. You have discernment.
No, you better work on it.
No,
You, you
but
need to work on
yeah,
that because people act like they don't. Because I think that we've gotten desensitized. We don't really even pay attention half the time. And we get so many subliminal messages shot at us. We don't know what to think half the time. But no, we need to work on that discernment. Work on it. It's a muscle that you might need to exercise.
right.
You know, you might need to exercise that. Just looking at things with a critical eye and not just looking at the surface. Now, yeah,
Oh
you look at
man.
her. She's sitting. She is sitting. And what is she sitting? She's sitting luxuriously. She's not sitting on a stool. She's not kneeling on the ground. She ain't working. Her hair is done. She got fine jewelry in her hair. She has fine clothing on. She is clearly a sister. So, what are they really saying about life or people or money or wealth? It wasn't something that was dominated by the invaders. That's the one I just purchased. Now you see,
Now this sister here looks like you can walk in any city and
right?
see this woman.
Yes, yes.
Look at her face.
Look at her hair. You could even kind of get a feeling for her hair texture.
Yeah,
She looks like Tasha Shee's hair.
yeah.
Um. So this is yeah, this is and look at her. They're living and they're showing the industry. They're really showing all the industry. The water industry, the industrial, revolution, the whole like factories, everything, the seafood, they're showing the agriculture. They're showing what is bringing in the money. And they're both standing on the side chilling, right?
Chilling,
Equally,
chilling.
equally.
This is 1866.
So really, what's going on in Raleigh? What was really going on? See, this is what they do. They paint this whole thing and it sets us up for the future. The future we're behind because of what we believe, because we us believe in the lies. But if we just looked at this with a critical eye, we'd be like, wait a minute, how could that be happening during the Confederate War? Wait a minute. Why would they have like a kumbaya? I mean, I thought we was just getting free. I was free. They try to
Right.
psych ops you to this day, giving you a holiday you didn't ask for. We should all be up in arms that they gave us a holiday that nobody damn well asked for. Juneteenth. Ain't nobody on the east side of the damn country celebrates Juneteenth. No one. But they gave it to us without us asking for it. That in itself should be a damn slap in your face. They giving us a holiday we never asked for. Why? Just because they want to press upon us that we were slaves. They want to press upon us that we were emancipated. Somebody had to free us. When in reality, all they did was free the poor white folks. It wasn't
And
free.
we don't question nothing.
We don't question nothing. You see all this money, and all the money can tell you the truth. You look at the maps of the daggone ships, and they can tell you the truth about who was here and when they were here. Because you don't see hardly no shipwrecks from the 1600s. You don't see hardly any shipwrecks from the 1700s. You don't see shipwrecks around Virginia and everything and the coast until the 1800s. That's when they really started coming. They're lying about everything.
Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't it make sense?
We're in the worst state that we have been right now. We're in the worst state right now. And they want to make you think it's good. Honey, they just gave us a whole onslaught of other immigrants after they gave us a so-called Civil Rights Act. They bombarded this country with every melanated person they could. We got more daggone Pakistani, Hindustani people here. I cannot believe what they have done to us. I was sitting up there talking to my friend, telling you that, they had a commentator on ESPN for women's basketball. There was a Pakistani, Hindustan, whatever he was, man, an East Asian. How in the hell, when I didn't go to high school, you didn't go to high school with them, they just got here. They were not in high school in the 1980s with us. That's what people have to understand. How quickly a country can be usurped by other people. And these people from East Asia were not here, nor were these Africans from Nigeria. They were not here in 1980. And I grew up on the East Coast in New Jersey.
Check this out. Check this out. Have you ever heard of a cat? He's online. His name is Vlad.
Yeah.
And he interviews all these Negroes.
Yeah. Celebrities and stuff.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Your answer would serve us most wonderfully. Do you think if a Negro from here went over to Russia and interviewed the Russian stars, do you think that would jump off?
Hell to no.
So how is it? And this is what I mean. We don't want to talk about it because it's really fucking embarrassing. Why we do stuff like that?
Because that's the problem. That's why we should know we're not no West Africans, because West Africans wouldn't allow that to happen either. Okay? Right. We're not West Africans because they wouldn't allow that either. We are the daggone indigenous people of America, and we are friendly to a freaking fault. We love kiss. We want to let everybody come in and get some. Come on, have some cornbread. Come on, sit down. You want some daggone? Want some cabbage, or you want some greens? You want both? What do you want?
You can have my plate.
You will have my plate. Shoot, I don't need. I ate yesterday. That is what we do. That is the nature of the Negroid Indian people. We care more about others than we care about ourselves, and that's how we get jacked up. We are not predatory. We ain't trying to go into other people's countries and take their stuff. We're not trying to get over by any means necessary. That's not our nature. As long as we good, we good. And we just want to party and be happy. But we're also extremely smart, extremely creative, and extremely inventive. But then, even if we have an idea, Oh, well, guess they just took that one. We don't even care if it's stolen. I mean, really don't. We really don't.
Really don't. So
So
you
let
have
me
it.
tell you how, in this short amount of time from 1985, let's say 1988, to this time, how did this country get to the point that we got them over us as far as the VP of the country, over us all over politics, all over the country, over us as CEOs and COOs all over the country, owning more hospitals, owning more business in our country than we have now? How did we sit up there and think that's okay? How are you not pissed off about it? I want to know. You got daggone Nigerians thumbing their nose at you, talking about they the richest daggone melanated people and they so successful and they got all these degrees. They just like Kamala stood over your body, jumped over your body in the HBCUs to get your seat.
And you helped them.
And you sat home and just said, well, I guess I'll work at Amazon. I don't know what y'all did. I don't know what y'all did, but you didn't care to fight for nothing.
I just want a job.
Now I think the only thing that's getting the Negroes a little bit okay is that I don't think they letting these daggone letting them in like they were. I think they slowed down letting these motherfuckers in. Because they're annoying. They're not nice. They're rude. They're not as smart as us. It's just ridiculous. So basically, they're not a real asset to what's going on. They're very predatory. They take, and they really aren't contributing to the building or to anything new or better. Not really at all. When we are in their places, we are innovating. We're changing things. We're bringing up things a level. That's our nature. We always see things in a different way. We always see a better way to do something, easier way to, a more efficient way. That we have that gift. That's why everybody wants to be here. It's because of what we have to offer, what we generate. Everybody copies off of us. And I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is.
Why are you sorry?
Well, I mean, it sounds like I'm being I don't know what, but
No, it does.
I'm
No, it
being
doesn't.
honest though.
It doesn't sound like that.
Hmm.
It doesn't sound like that. It sounds like see what has happened when the truth is spoken by one of us. Somebody has to attack it somehow. But when you talk about what they talk about or what they try to push, now nobody wants to talk. Have you
Right.
noticed that?
Yeah.
Talk to these people in these churches. They'll leave because they know they lying.
Uh-huh.
Talk to these people in these universities. They
Yeah.
know they lying to these youth. Talk to
Yeah.
all these prominent so-called that listen. Do you know what do you know? Being that we're in the social media age now, what does the black person, the African American, the Negro, what is the number one commodity that they consume online? Sports,
News.
drama, gossip. What? Nothing really else.
Politics, they watch the news. The old folks watch the news. Young people watch gossip and sports.
Gossip,
Hmm.
baby daddy.
Yeah,
Nothing that adds
What's
not
P
a bit of
Diddy? What's P
quality.
Diddy doing? Who's
Right,
seeing who?
right.
Who you know? Who's you know? People's private parts? Who's showing what? Just dumb stuff.
Not
Anything, and they know that we are easily distracted, so they use that.
right.
We are easily
So
distracted.
that's where so you have the civil rights all stars, they're shutting down. And so now you have their children filling their shoes. And what you're looking at now with that is basically they're just taking on from the civil rights thing.
But
They're
the
just
civil rights all stars,
well, you know, that
the
group.
people that the big people, the big wigs, oh, they totally sold everybody else down the river. So their children are set because of what they've stolen or how they've been compensated. But
But
those people that just got maybe a little bit of a 2 year affirmative action shit, their money's gonna be gone as soon as they gone. I mean, even if they are well put, a couple $1 million can go real quick, especially if you got a couple of kids. You could have one kid that shit can be gone real quick. You know what I mean?
right.
So I mean, even if they think, "Oh, I'm good, I got all these millions, to hand on to my child, and it's all good," that thing could be run through quick. Or you already done got them into a mindset of having expensive taste and liking the good life. I mean, all you need is a good year of the good life, and that shit's gone. Okay, and
And that,
you were unwilling to unlearn anything that you were taught in these universities and in these social groups. You were unwilling to fight for any kind of truth and justice for your heritage or your child because, hey, why do I care? I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to find out about the land that we had or who we are or what we're owed or what belongs to us. It doesn't matter. I got it. I'm good. No, yeah, you're good for how long? Not even a generation.
not even 5 years.
Not even 5 years.
Was
But
talking to
see,
this sister who's an actress in
mhm,
Los Angeles.
mhm,
She was you seen her in some things, but she wasn't really big like a Holly Berry or nothing like that.
right.
Just talked to her recently. She goes, that was the shittiest 5 years of my life. Because what she had to do to maintain that. When you get into these groups, these guilds, and I would suggest that everybody look up what a guild is. It's what everybody has to get into whatever field you're getting into. If you want to be an actor, you have to get into the Screen Actors Guild. And what does that do when you get into these Greek fraternities? You have to be hazed.
Right.
Any of these groups that you want to integrate into, you have to be hazed.
There's a sacrifice you have to make, not just then, but
Right.
periodically, depending on how much you're getting in life, how high you getting to go. You know.
And when you guys, and I know it's not, hasn't been put out yet, but it will be soon. When you guys figure out Holly Berry, what she had to do to be in those movies,
Mm,
and what she had to do to Harvey Weinstein to get in these
ew,
movies,
ew.
you're gonna vomit.
Mm.
See, we think it's no good life. You thinking drinking Cristal and having that's the kind of see they get us on that material stuff. Once they got us on that, we gone. Something material, that's all it takes.
I don't know who Dr. Shiva is. I guess it's this Shiva activist person. I don't know.
It's like the sister said, he's an Indian cat. They're trying to replace you. And
There,
being
he's
that
he's he's one of those Hindustan. So he's a Hindustan, and he's how can he be a Negro? First of all, Hindustans aren't Negroes in any shape or form. He doesn't even know what a Negro is. Negro has nothing to do with him. But yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure
but the
he
average
could
Negro don't know what a Negro is.
he could say he's a slave. I believe that he probably was a field slave or a dirt slave or a mud slave or whatever they got going on over there. But yeah, he definitely his people were they're still slaves over there. What do you
Right.
mean? Art? Yeah, I believe that his people are actually slaves, not even field Negroes. They can't call themselves field Negroes, but they are actually slaves. Yes, people are slaves. That's my question is like what you say about it. Why are they? Why is he here and his people over there catching hell? What the hell is he doing here, living a good life, taking our shit? Go back where to your country and help your damn slave cousins. Okay, what are you doing
That's
over here? Being
that's
a
not his job.
predator, sucking up our stuff. Get the heck out of here and go home and take care of your cousins and kinfolk.
No, you don't tell me what to do. They're fleeing. They're all those countries that all these people are running over, they're running over here for a reason. And I have seen how they talk to some of us, and I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, they disrespect us and see us as easy. This place is easy pickings because all the doors open for them when they come out here. Yeah, it's like click, 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 click. All the locks are open. They hand them a daggone bag of cash, literally. You know,
Yeah.
they give them a ladder to climb. Here's the ladder. You can skip like 4 or 5 rings.
Mhm.
And we act like, oh no, that's not true, man. If you saw what was going on behind the curtain, you would be livid.
And I think a lot of people already know what's going on. I mean, to be really honest, the African American is just basically giving up. He just laid down.
Hmm.
I mean, cause you can tell by you brought up Kamala Harris, and what's this other chick that's on the Supreme Court?
I don't know.
She's African.
Oh, is she? They got an African on the
They
Supreme
don't.
Court.
You're not on there.
You know what? Let me tell you something. I didn't even know that, and now I'm really getting pissed off. You know what? Because this whole line jumping bullshit, we should be freaking fired up about this stuff. We have never had our hour. We have never had it. I mean, I don't understand why people are not angry about it.
You know
We have
why?
never had our moment. Like, we haven't had it. People so called died for our rights, so called sacrificed, so called, and they didn't give us any affirmative action, just 2 years. And then they flooded this country with every melanated person they could to take away anything we could get out of anything. And we never got our moment. And we're still like we're really at the bottom. And nobody seems to freaking get it because they think they can make some money off of being a TikToker or fucking on YouTube or whatever the heck. Or they feel like, oh, I got my come up, sis. Whatever your Negroes is like, they live in a freaking fishbowl. If they feel like if they can go around in circles and they got enough, somebody throwing in some damn crumbs to them, they're okay. What is she an African with the Brown Johnson name? What is that? That's not a. Well, anyway, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I don't even want to think about it because seriously, I am just sick to death of the fact that we have opened the doors for us to lose everything that we've ever had. Come on in. Come and help yourself. And they act like locusts. They take everything. They eat it all. There's nothing left, not a crumb. And then what are you going to do when your daggone grandchildren say, how did it get this way? When they look back at you and your fucking daggone tombstone and say, what the hell did you do? What did you do? How did it get this way? Y'all had it good. I see movies. Y'all had it going on. How did you let it all go? How did you give it all away? Why? Why? Oh Lord.
Kentanji Onyanika Onyika Brown Jackson.
What does that mean? What the frick is that? What is she?
A black woman.
Is she African or is she a Negro? What is she?
Uh, I'm just going by this, by what she says. She was born in 1970. Kantanji Oyika, who, I mean, so whatever they tell me, I just don't go, oh, yeah, okay. Come on, y'all. And if you look at her, what sister she look like here? She look like she's from the Caribbean or something because her family is from Florida, Miami area. Check her out.
Oh well, she might be from the Caribbean. Okay.
I mean, isn't that how they did you with Shirley Chisholm?
Right.
Isn't that how they do you with the chick that's down there in Texas? You're not it. And see, this is what pisses me off about the African American. Your grandmothers and great grandmothers prayed that
Mm-hmm.
one day you would be in those positions
Right.
to remedy justice to your people.
Right.
You don't do that. You bring in what's the chick, the vice president name?
Kamala.
You prop her up. The
No. Yeah.
educated
Yeah.
the educated Negroes do.
Yeah. You work hard to get her in office.
Yeah.
I'm campaigning for my sister, my soror. She's not your sister. She's a predator. She was placed in your university to do exactly what she did: infiltrate your daggone societies, crawl and suck her way to the top.
And you backed her up.
Yeah, you said she's not a complete hoe. She's just a sometimes hoe.
Remember, what's that dude, Montel Williams?
Yeah.
Montel Williams was running like ponies.
Mm,
That's all she did.
mm.
That's all she did. And so, like and poor women, and that's why we looking back. What's the chick who just down in Atlanta who they just dogged out?
Oh yeah. What's her name?
Man, she made, and the brother. I mean, what are y'all doing? They just walked right into that. This is what the educated masses are doing. This is what the smart people are doing, making everybody look like fucking fools.
I think we should start looking at these things, like I said, also with a critical eye. How do you deliver the entire Democratic Party to Georgia, go into every country town, all in the daggone boonies of all of Georgia, and you deliver all these people to the voting booths only to get slapped in the mouth because they didn't want nobody knowing there was that many niggas in Georgia. First of all,
Right,
excuse me,
right.
they didn't want them to know how many Negroes were in Georgia. They really didn't. The fact that she exposed that was a problem. That was a
What,
problem.
whatever
And
happened
so
to that sister?
they gave her a check and told her to go sit down and eat some French fries. That's what they told her. Told her they gave her a check, told her to go sit down. Because she ain't unhappy. She still makes appearances now and then. So she's got some kind of compensation for her being a dutiful uh 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 uh, uh, uh Negro, to be happy with her state of being. State of being is that you ain't good enough to be a VP. And you are the symbol of not being good enough. You the symbol of not being good enough. The world don't want to see you or anyone like you being VP of your own country. Oh, it also shows how ignorant y'all are because you don't even know this is your country. So you let all these invaders be in charge of everything and you are okay with it. You're always taking the back seat.
Always. And so these people that they're putting in these offices now in the public view,
Or Haitian. Or in John.
uh, these people that they're putting in a public view, because the sister just put up Corinne Jean Pierre.
Uh-huh.
If that's not a clown, what is? And I think, and they put these people in these positions just to embarrass them.
They do it to pay. It's psychological warfare against the Negro, but we so daggone complacent and apathetic that we don't even feel some kind of way. Now I feel pissed off, but I know that this is the times they are changing, and pretty soon they're not gonna be able to do shit with this with us, because this ain't theirs, and they don't
Right.
have a right to do shit over here. So I'm like, I'm just tapping my foot because I know I know the moves that I'm making, and I know they're not gonna be able to control not a doggone thing the Acamax do. That's for sure. So that's gonna change immediately. But as far as everybody else, I can't really say. But I could say this, that they know that they don't have a right. They know what they're really doing. They know that they're losing the grip on some folks. But if we don't get ourselves properly organized into actually something that is real and solid and able to stand up to whatever kind of scrutiny they want to throw at us, because most of these daggone social group Indian groups are filled with foreigners. Because who else gonna join it but somebody that's greedy and want to get something for nothing? Most of the people that are in these Indian social groups, because you don't want to deal with your kinfolk, because they ain't about the shit. You got a bunch of damn foreigners in your organization. I guarantee. Because they're the greedy people that would want to be. They're the daggone infiltrators. They're the daggone people that are about being predatory. So that's the problem when you say, I'm going to make a so-and-so group and y'all can join and da-da-da. That's the problem with it, because you get infiltrated, and everybody that's going to be in it, they're going to be something else. And then they're going to toss you around like a rag doll, and you'll deserve it because you just didn't want to do the work of working with your real bloodline. That's a problem.
Big problem. So, Lisa, closing it out, could you close it out for us, please?
Well, I think when you look at the money and you follow the money, you'll see that this obviously, looking at all this money from 1861, 1862, 1866, what have you, and all these Indians on the money in their various forms, whether it's this woman dressed in a lovely dress, the other woman dressed in a fancy gown, sitting luxuriously, or they tried to show an image of ancient Indians, right? With their, garb, their drapes on. That's ancient Indians. So understand that all these monies are made at the same time, but they're depicting Indians in various time frames, right? This one is a more current time frame. They're showing industry, they're showing like everything about how they making the money in North Carolina. That's what they about. They had all these companies, and a lot of this stuff these Indians own. A lot of those things they probably end up burning down because these industries were owned by the Indians. We have to understand that they show us what you think they don't want us to know. They are already showing you. You just got to take a nice critical look at it. I close
And
my
when you
mic.
look,
Thank you for having me.
and when you look at yourselves as black, you don't see nothing. Keep that in mind.
Mhm.
They call you black, you cut off every connection to anything you've ever had. And that's how they get us. And you can see that's how we work it today. So, Lisa, thank you for sharing this with us tonight. The money, y'all, you're on the money. Who brings slaves 5,000 miles across the Atlantic and put them on the money. When you find out, let me know. You guys have a good night. Peace.